try to answer your questions as best as possible. If you need any documentation, as some of your questions suggest, you can leave those with us and then we'll provide them with you, because you didn't have an appointment, you just walked in, so understandably, it's not that everything that you want you'll get. Ram will answer the questions as best as he can with regards to what is happening with regards to the tariff wars, the price floor, our protection towards consumers, operators, and everybody else, and the responsibilities we have. So make it brief, because we have another one. It seems we are very popular today. We have another interviews that we have to go to. And thank you. Make it brief, and Brahma is all yours. Great.
Thank you very much. My name is Yusuf Taylor. I'm a journalist, and we have other journalist media houses here: SS Media, T Trend Media, Toro Alsan Media, West Coast Radio, Gambian Talents Promotions, and I hope I haven't missed out any, Askanwe Media, which I am.
Yeah.
So, as I said, my name is Yusuf Taylor. I'm very grateful. We came today, like he said, and you've given us audience, and we really appreciate that. But the question which I wanted to ask is, what's the rationale? Because we've seen that you've put in place a price floor, which means that the GSM companies will not be able to charge lower prices for 1 GB. It's stuck now at 50. Isn't that anti-competitive?
Thank you very much, Mr. Taylor. I'm happy to receive you guys. Of late, PURA has been in the media for the good or the wrong reasons, and we have seen stories that far away from the realities. Some media houses have posted things that are not real, but it's good that you come and try to clarify the issues, as you said. Now, the telecommunication industry is an open market, based on the principle of open market principles. End user tariffs are not regulated, but there is a regulator in place to ensure that there is fair competition, the interests of the consumers are protected, the interest of the government is protected, and the interest of the operators are also protected. So it's a balancing act. It's never easy. So in the past 3 to 4 weeks, we've witnessed a very unhealthy price war, leading to gigabyte prices of about $5 per gig. This is not obtained anywhere in the world, and it has created.
Sorry for the distraction.
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay. Yes. Okay.
So we've witnessed a spiral reduction in prices. That is not sustainable. It's not sustainable because, as a regulator, we also, as I said, we protect the interests of all these 3 players. We also do our market surveillance, and we've seen that these tariffs are unsustainable. But good enough, they are promotions. They call them promotions. So government should understand that they are promotional rates. So they call summer promotions. And by our tariff guidelines, promotions should not last more than 2 months. Promotions tariff will move back to their normal position, which is about, average sale was about 130 per gig, QSL is about 130 per gig, GAMSL is around that end, and Comium thereabout. So the average for industry was $106 per gig. So after the promotions, they are all duty bound to move to their original tariffs, which is that ring. And we cannot force them to come down. But because they were involved in this price war and there is a market failure, we took advantage. The law allowed us. Where there is competition, market forces will set the prices. But in an event that the market forces collapse and the market could not address itself, the regulator has the powers to intervene and either set a ceiling or a floor. So that is the reason why when we saw an opportunity, and we are trying to bring this tariff for the longest time we couldn't, we saw an opportunity. And it becomes unsustainable also for the operators, and also because the quality of service we are going down. You buy your 2 gig, you cannot use it, especially in rural areas. It becomes a challenge because the number of subscribers, the usage quadrupled within a period of time, and they were not prepared for it. So there were genuine concerns caused on that quality of services are down. So we need to address the issue. So on that note, we said, okay, this is an opportunity now. Since they decided to embark on a senseless war, we will take advantage of that and set a ceiling of $50.
A
floor of $50.
Because some people confuse your floor with
a
a
floor.
ceiling.
Yeah, a floor of $50. So that the anti-competitive behaviors that are happening can be addressed. Because the market was going to fail. And especially for Comium, that is on the investment spree, they are billion dollars all over the place. If this goes on for another 2-3 months, they are going to have serious problems. Africell and QCell can manage because they've been around for some time, they are not expanding. But Comium is on an expansion, and they are coming to the market is a very good welcome development when they came, because they revolutionized the market, to be true, to be sincere. But a prolonged and unnecessary price war will undermine their viability as a company. So, and also for the sector as a whole, and we cannot sit and watch a sector the entire sector to collapse on our watch. That will be a regulatory failure also. So we decided that now the advantage to government is after 2 months, automatically this so-called war bonus, everything will stop. That's the law. Now they'll go back to their tariff, but we stick on advantage. We say 50 floor. Now, wherever a floor is set, because people are so sensitive to price, nobody goes above the floor. They just move around that region. Because if you look at telecommunication prices in Africa, there is no country in Africa, the tariffs are 10% difference. They are almost mirror each other because of competition, and they don't compete on quality but price. So obviously with this floor, most of them will come to around 55 thereabout. So they move from about 130 to 55, and that's about 75% of the market. Comium and Africell and QCell combined is about 76% of the market. So we have an opportunity for them to move from 130 to $50, which is about a savings of about $80. So we are not that insensitive. But whatever happens is that by our laws, promotion cannot be indefinite. It has, within a period of 16 months, you have to discontinue and maintain your published tariff. That's where you go. And you will not do another promotion until after 6 months, then you can do another promotion. So the only crime we did was we cut short the promotions. That's the only thing we say we did. But other than that, I think we are on track. The arrangement has favored Gambians and is in their best interest.
Okay. I have just one follow-up question, and then I obviously let my colleagues who might have one or two.
Okay.
In your statement, you've highlighted that the market collapsed, and you also said about to collapse. Perhaps you can clarify what exactly you mean. And given that now you have set a floor,
Yes.
that means they cannot go down lower. Isn't it your rule as PURA to respect the principles of a free market, number one, and secondly, demand that charge whatever price you want. But what we know is that you, as GSM company, must provide quality service. 4G is in Gambia. Is it 4G? 5G in Gambia. Is it really 5G? So my question are two-pronged. And I just will reiterate it so it's clear to you. The first point, please clarify what you talk about, what you mean by market collapse. Has the market collapsed? Because in your same statement you said it's about to collapse, you said it's collapsed. So what do you mean by that? And then secondly, this is a disservice to us. This price floor is a disservice to us. PURA, isn't it your role to make sure, let them charge even zero, give it data for free, but quality must be upheld? Isn't that your role, sir?
Yes, our role, as I said, is consumer protection, interest of government, and interest of the operators. It's a dual role. It's a difficult role to achieve simultaneously. If you do that, the consumers will be happy, but it's short-lived. If you operate below cost, I mean, you all know, you cannot sustain a business below cost. And if you look at competition theory stipulates that those service providers should operate below cost. You understand? That's a principle. If you do that, you are going to fail. And if the market fails, the entire country is at a disservice. You have to remember also that the GSM operators, telecommunication services, is the largest taxpayer to the government. That's also a concern that we have to look at. That's the interest of government also. The interest of the sector of players is also that they are in a senseless war that can potentially jeopardize their very existence. And the regulator has a right, an obligation to make sure that doesn't happen. So, in the process, we did this to stabilize the market. Because if we know in 2-3 months' time, there will be no service anymore. If they continue at this rate, it's almost zero. 1 gigabyte for $5, even though it's 2 days or validity of 2 days thereabout, but it's almost zero when you compare to the regional averages. So what we are saying is that the market was at a state where they could not come out because it's out of matter of pride. Nobody will want to come out. Well, the moment you come out, you will use all the subscribers you have. So they were in a situation that nobody could come out. It's a matter of pride. So let's all be there and see what happened. So, but as a regulator which has mandate to protect the industry also, we cannot sit and watch that happen. That will be a failure on our part. If the last time that Comium had that issue, we are blamed. How can you allow a company to fall under your watch when you are as a regulator? That's a concern. But luckily they revived themselves up. They are now up and running. Gamcel is in a state of, I don't know how to describe them. They are either here, there or not there. So if you allow these other players also to deteriorate to that level, it's a failure on our part. So we are consumer focused, but not also, we don't want to go by short-lived expectations, because this is not sustainable. And as I said, there are summer promotions. They are not going to last for long, forever. They are just promotions. So, but after the promotions, PURA will not be able to institute this price floor, as I said. We can't do it, because at that time, there is no cost. But now that they are in a situation in limbo that they couldn't get out, and the market, as I said, from all indications, if this passes another 1 month, there will be chaos in it. Especially young players like Comium, they'll have a problem. So therefore, we are duty bound to come out with an interim measure until such a time that our study is finalized. This just to stimulate the market, to allow sanity into the sector, and also in the process, 75% of the government consumers will have a significant reductions in the bundles they buy, and that's a plus. That's what we are saying. But if you want to look at it from a consumer perspective only, then that means we'll just be a consumer protection agency, not a regulatory authority. The regulatory authority, you balance the three concerns and make sure that the market remains viable, so that government liberalize it, have the tax revenue. The companies, we also ensure that the companies don't enter a senseless activity that will undermine their very existence, and also the consumers have value for money. The quality of service issues you raise, fine. We have a quality of service standards we have in the institution. They are going down, but we have some issues with we are upgrading because of the 4G and the upgrading the system. So for license issues is done. We could have used that, but it is done. But also, you have to see the bigger picture. It's an opportunity for us, because we've been trying to get the tariffs down for the longest time. But we used the pretext that market has failed, or is about to fail, whatever we call it.
So it's not failed.
But it's almost failing.
Okay.
If you cannot run a business consecutively for 2 months almost getting zero revenue, it will fail of years. It's just a matter of time.
I have a follow-up question. Yes. You have highlighted a lot of points, so I'll follow up with one point.
Okay.
That is, you said they cannot operate under cost.
Yes.
You understand? Now, I want to ask you this question before I go to other questions of mine, and I would love you to answer it. Is it an assumption? Oh, you guys have consulted these people to bring out their financial or their expenses and everything. You realize that they are running, if they continue, they will run under cost, or is an assumption that you guys have?
We have done, as I said, there's a consultancy that is going on.
Is it concluded?
The consultancy is not validated, but we are working with the consultant.
Yes.
We are seeing the figures.
Yes.
The figures that we are seeing, definitely speaking, they are grossly under running at a loss. Grossly.
They are running at a loss.
It's a tariff that cannot sustain the industry.
But as of now,
yes,
that consultation is not concluded.
Yes, yes.
It's not concluded.
Yes.
It's not concluded.
Yes.
So now it's like you guys are taking assumption of the information that you
No. We took a calculated decision
They report their numbers to us.
based on the numbers we see, to revitalize the market. Where the market is now, it's a matter of time, it's collapsing.
It's a matter of time, it's collapsing.
Yes.
You said you are on consultation,
yes,
but it's not finalized yet.
Yes.
So the information that you guys have as of now is what you conclude that if they continues like this, they will fall. But it is not like the consultation is concluded. It's an assumption. So we can agree.
It's an interim measure.
It isn't. No, I think what he's saying, it's not an assumption. as a regulator, all operators have an obligation to report their numbers to us. So what you say assumption is not necessarily an assumption, because we're using data sets that we know what they're making, what profits they're making, what losses they're making. We are in the seat of that. So the assumption bit is that any study is based on an assumption until it is finalized. So but when you say it's an assumption, it's like we don't know, we're just talking out of the blue. No, we're not. When we say when they continue doing this, they will die, we know.
No, that's one side. Another point you talk about, that is the quality of the internet. You said those in the rural areas have been complaining about it since the promotion comes. I think that's what you said.
No, I said we have given numerous complaints, and the systems are saturated. Because you understand that there is an explosion in the term. Previously at 1:30, if I have YouTube, or if I go to TikTok after one video, I'll be mindful. But with these explosions, the numbers quadruple over a period of time, and that doesn't commensurate with an expansion in the networks. So that has created congestions in the network. You will buy a credit, you buy $2, you cannot use it effectively. So in that case, in terms of consumer satisfaction, that's we consider is key to killing the consumers, because they buy these services and they are not making full use of them. And our promotion guidelines are very clear. If you are doing a promotion, it must not compromise your quality of service.
Now, is it that the promotion has compromised their quality of service, yes, or is it that there are too much of demands on it? That's why the network is there.
Yeah, the promotion led to the demand. The promotion led
but
to
that
the
does not
usage.
affect the quality that they were offering before.
No, it has affected, as a result of promotions, there is a congestion in the network. So the quality has further deteriorated. That's what we are saying. Because without the promotions, the usage was maybe a certain percentage. But when it becomes almost free, everybody have access to it. People are on the net 24 hours a day. So it has overstretched the services to the extent that the people are experiencing congestion. So as a result, we said this is unsustainable. But as I said, the bigger picture is when, after the promotions, which may last another month, they are going back to the initial. And when that happens, their published tariffs are 130, 120, thereabout. So they are going to that phase. But because of the issues around this competition and their market failure, we are now up duty bound and also within law to intervene. But outside that, we cannot intervene.
Okay, my point now here is this. Their promotion will last for a month.
Yes.
Understand?
Yes.
And your consultation is yet to be finalized. One could say, why not you give them that 1 month until your then that period is finished, and your consultation is also finished within that period, so as you can come and gather that information, gather the facts together, then you will know your step, whether next time they will go into such promotion or not, rather than coming before the promotions will end or before your consultation will finalize.
No, as I said, the signals we are getting. We are not operators, we are also part of the process. We are seeing the data and the signals that are happening. It was a matter of pride, but all of them were bleeding. But nobody will come out, because if you do that, you lose face. Even you enter in a senseless fight, that's how you don't want to lose face. So, as a regulator, we felt the consultation are ongoing, but we've seen the signals from the consultancy. We saw where the consultancy is projected. We know that. So we took an informed decision to say, look, now that there's a senseless and price on the market has failed, so once a market failure, nobody could come out. Let's take a decision and revitalize the market again. This is just an interim measure. By the time the market stabilizes, and also it's an opportunity that we have almost 75 to 76% of the market coming from 130 to 50, almost 50. So this is an opportunity that we don't want to miss.
Now, another question, that will lead me to another question of mine. You guys are going to be like, you are the whistleblowers, you understand, between the GSM operators and the consumers.
Yeah.
So for this time, it might not...
But it's on the upgrade for the 5G network. It was only measuring 2G, 3G. But with the 5G and 4G LTE, it needs to upgrade. We need to have an upgrade. That's what we are going through. But we have KPIs that are set, and also we have a quality of experience to match because sometimes from the technical perspective, you may have a KPI set and they may meet the threshold, but consumers are still complaining that the quality is bad. So to complement that, we also have a quality of experience tool that will complement the QoS. But the tool is around, but the system is down, as I said. The QoE will complement the QoS. So that's right. So if you indicate that, what will happen is that we will constitute fines. Where in most countries where the KPIs are set, if they fail, you fine them. But experience have shown also that if you concentrate too much on fining, the regulator will just get money and operators will just be paid. Because improvement of a quality of experience calls for an investment. Now, if you put on fines, and if the fines are cheaper than the investment, they will prefer to do the fines than to do the necessary investment to upgrade the system. So this is the dilemma we have, and we also want to have, as a country, the policy is that what? Universal coverage. So if you start with fines at this early stage, and most of the Gambian rural communities are very small communities. Most of them are not making money in those areas. So if you start fining at an early stage, what you are telling them is that, okay, do not go to the areas where you are not making money, because when I cannot go to my village where there's about 200 people with a tower, and I'm having only 3 or 4 calls a day. And if I fail on my KPI, I'm fine. Then I would rather stay in the greater Banyan areas and major towns where I'm making returns. But the policy of government is universal coverage across the length and breadth of the Gambia. So this is the challenge we have. You could, if you initially start fining for poor quality of service, then you are in a way telling them, okay, be mindful, don't expand too much because you will be fine. So this is the challenge we have. We are moving with them gradually to have universal coverage, because internet and data is a fundamental human right now. Everybody needs it. Every part of the country should be there. So in Gambia, we don't have a universal service fund where you put together money, and we saw that as an additional taxation. So, but what we said is we work with them, encourage them to roll out to the various communities. But we have KPIs that we set, and by the time when any failures, what we do, instead of fining, we publish them to name and shame. That's what we are doing. They fail in this other area, they fail in this other area. So we've seen some significant development, but unfortunately the system is down, and we are waiting for an upgrade.
For how long the system was down?
Well, I think for the past 6 months or so, because it's an issue of licensing.
Within that 6 months, during that period of 6 months, consumers are still paying for the same price.
No, not necessarily, but service was provided.
Now, has it come to the notice of the consumers that the system is down for 6 months?
Well, this is an internal tool PURA has to accept. It's not like a tool that we need to. It's an internal tool we have at our disposal to ensure that, to look at the operators and find out whether they abide by the standards we set for them. It has failed, but we are also monitoring, and when we have complaints, we engage them. This is, and that's what informs us, especially during this period of the promotions. The complaints become so almost 10 or 20 fold. So that's a concern for us also. And
I think just to add to what Brahman said, having tools as a regulator is one of your biggest strengths. I think talking about the quality of service, this is the machine is talking about. I think we have made an investment. I think incidentally this Saturday we are launching the quality of experience machine, which actually is going to be what the person is feeling. Machine can say quality is fantastic and your KPIs, they are meeting it, and then they are not. Yeah. But what we are going to be launching is a quality of experience machine, which is going to be in a mobile phone, and we put in different regions where people can actually use as normal, and that will measure and report to us on a weekly basis, and then we will form an opinion based on what the quality of service machine is saying towards what the person is experiencing on the ground. So we are launching this. On top of this also, we also have an app which will be available on Play Store that people can actually download and actually see what the network is like in their particular individual areas. So we are launching these 2 equipments this Saturday just to complement the quality of service, like you said. But you know, with the operators, what we are doing as a regulator, fine, we are under public scrutiny in terms of what is happening and what we are doing, and the questions you are asking is, the service that I'm getting, am I getting the quality? The operator in all countries, all African countries, the consumer is at a disadvantage from the word go. You pay 100% of your money, and then you are left with a service, either good or bad. That is the case everywhere. So the consumer is always at a disadvantage. Like Brahma said, our role is to balance the 3 sectors: government, consumers, operators. Their viability is sacrosanct. It cannot fail. If it fails, we all lose service regardless. That is why I wanted to say, when you say, let them fight until they go to zero, if they go to zero, they all die. It doesn't matter what pretext they sow out there to say they have money, they are this. We are seeing their books. They have an obligation to report their incomes and expenditures, and we are seeing it. As a department, this department looks at this and they form an opinion. So it's based on looking at these numbers that we can make an opinion to say, we believe if this particular engagement continues in terms of a promotion, a problem can occur in the long run. And we will be the ones to blame. If, for instance, there's a Comium folded, what would happen? They'll come to the regulator. How come you did not foresee this? If there's a African also is having a problem to pay their taxes, and as a result, GRS expectations have all come down, they'll come to us as well and say, how come you did not advise? So you see, this is the difficulty we have in terms of how do we play these three so that they all come together and then it becomes something that we can all benefit from. Consumers, of course, have been paying a high rate, and this is a given. And this is something that, like Brahma said, that we are working with operators to make sure that this goes down. But how do we do that? It's to make sure that their own cost of operations go down in terms of them using. They will also tell you, we are using NAWEC, but NAWEC is not completely available. We have to use generators to augment our BTSs. We're getting complaints that everybody wants data. Currently, I think when we started PURA, when people go to the provinces, voice was a problem. People have to hang their phones on trees. But now, currently, voice is over 134% penetration. We have full coverage of voice in the country. But data is a problem. People don't even mind about voice now. They talk about data. But this is something that we have to work with them so that they make these investments. The BTS that people make comparisons, let's say, to Gambia and Senegal. The BTS that Africell or Comium or QCell buys, let's say, cost $100,000 for Africell. It costs exactly the same $100,000 for Orange in Senegal. But what about the population concentration in Senegal compared to Gambia? You have 4 operators competing for 2.5 million people. In Senegal, it's about 16 million people. Their cost of operation, the cost of their operations are completely different. So you cannot make a direct comparison to say Senegal is cheaper than Gambia. If they are buying the same BTS, the equipments are exactly the same, the OPEX are exactly the same, it means you cannot also expect that their return on investments will be the same. So this is something that we also have to look at. So these are all the things, the indications that we have to, and we cannot keep telling people this. Every time you do, people seem to think that you're making excuses. But we know how much they are spending and how much they are getting back, and how much they are paying for the taxes. They're paying for the levies and the GRTS and everything that they pay. Even the football that we have in the Gambia is paid for by them. So as a regulator, we also have a responsibility to make sure we safeguard them. Even though in all countries, GSMs pretend to be very rich and they have money everywhere. This is how they are seen. They're giving out houses worth 7 million. But really, these are things that they're calculated on their part, but it does not necessarily mean they have bottomless accounts that they can actually dip in and make this investment. So our role is to make sure that they are viable, but also they don't take too much advantage of the consumer. The consumer also has the quality of service, and the cost of that service is reasonable to a point where we can compete or compare with other countries. But this is what we are trying to do as a country, and also it's not going to come without these challenges. It will come with these challenges, but I think we need to meet them head on to actually see how we do that. So this is what we try to do to stop a market failure, like Brahma said. But of course, others will say this was a one-tier that we were all enjoying. But we all know one-tiers, they start and they end. So if it doesn't end, then it means then we have an issue.
Yeah, just a follow-up, because we've seen Comium. They've gone out of business before, and they've come back. Now, this begs the question, why is it that the interest of the public, because to most people who are watching from outside, what they see is that Comium has come into the game and they have forced these tariff wars.
Yes.
That's what the people see. And to their own benefit. Me, I'm a customer. I use all 3 of them. Comium, Africell, QCell. I use all 3 of them. But is even the idea of a price floor, is this normal? Is this even normal? Which is shocking, because of price floors protect the businesses, the companies. Price ceilings, like we've seen in this country, there is a price cap for fuel. Everywhere you go, there is a price. But then, you go to jar oil, for example, you get it $1 less. You might have your issues with your quality, but you know you've gone there. So instead of a price floor, you people should be people. This is what people. I am a journalist. I'm talking to people. People are demanding instead. They want you to lift this price floor. Give us a price ceiling. This is what we want.
Yes,
I think I just want to start with what you said. You said the price floor protects the operators.
Price floor, that's what we see.
But rightly so. Like we said at the beginning.
At our expense.
No, like we said at the beginning, we protect the interests of the operators, consumers, and government. That is our role. We protect their interests, not in that we want them to exploit consumers, but we protect their interests to make sure that they are viable, that they don't go down to a point where they kill themselves. What you mentioned, Comium. Comium came in with a penetration pricing strategy. This is exactly what QCell is doing in Sierra Leone. He might disagree with it here, but he's doing it in Sierra Leone so that he can get market share. It's normal for any operator or any new business coming in to have a penetration strategy process. But also, as a regulator, if it's a regulated entity, you have a responsibility to make sure that that strategy is something that they do to gather their, to amass their customer base. And once they do, they stop and go normal so that they are viable. Because it's not, you cannot produce something at $10 and sell it at $1 and continue doing that and expect to make a profit. Or to be viable, you will die. Your cost, what you are buying for is $10. You are selling at $1. At the beginning is fine. You can solder it, you can get loans, you can get assurances. Once I get my customers, I'll recoup this over a period of time. But if it's something that is continuous, they will die.
But that's the policy of
that let them die. It might be something that a customer can say, but as a regulator, we cannot.
I can understand, but that happened. Comium did die, and they did come in. We didn't see, because of what people are seeing. This is at the benefit of the QCell and AfriCell, more so than even Comium. What people we are seeing as customers is, we don't expect PURA to give us a price floor. We don't expect that. What we expect is for PURA to be giving us a price ceiling. What we expect is for PURA to be demanding that charge whatever price you want. We have an open market. But you guys are going against the policies of an open market.
No, but in an open market, you don't need, then there shouldn't be need for a regulator then.
You can still have regulator.
And allow it to do whatever they like.
Quality regulation.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if in a situation where you can charge anything you like, PURA has been in existence for almost 20 years now. There has never been a price floor in this country because they were behaving normally. But these abnormal situations call for abnormal processes. What happened now has taken all of us by surprise. We never expected that the competition will be this bad, that they will come to the end, that they are almost charging almost zero. This is a potential for problem. And as a regulator, our duty is to ensure that the same consumers who you are trying to protect, if it's not available, who are you protecting in the end? This service must be there to be protected, to be enjoyed. But if the service is non-existent, how do you go about that? We are all consumers also. We don't enjoy this. But what we did was an interim measure because the way the market is now, none of them was prepared to come out. And Comium is the darling of most of the people now, very young ones, see, because of the thing they are doing.
Yes.
And when they came, as I said, they revolutionized the telecommunication business in this country. But they are in a very critical phase. They are expanding. And they found themselves in a price war. You could say price war. So the prices are going so low that their very existence is affected. And if these other people here, they have maybe they have some revenue somewhere streams. They are in other operations. They can but Comium Gambia is alone, and is on a trajectory that invests to renew. And which is commended, very commendable, because the expansion that they are going is amazing, and we welcome that. But they found themselves in a price war that they cannot get out. Somebody needs to come out and help them out. And
so did Comium come? Did this media? I mean, did these GSM companies come to complain to you, or you just intervene?
No. It's
because it sounds like you're asking, it's as if they're asking for help.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's about some people are saying that some GSM operators lobby PURA because one competitor's promotion was hurting their business. Did any operator complain directly to you before this decision?
No, we are in a sector. We naturally, operators, they look at each other, they complain against each other. That's a normal threat in competition. They look at each other, they study each other, they have agents in each other's company, they know what the other is doing. But as I said, Comium, we are in the market for almost 2 years now, since they started. And they had this tariff that they come up with. If it was complaint from the operators, we would have stopped it long since they started. But we allowed them because we saw them as a very important partner, because we were having a duopoly. Only AfriCell and QCell were dominating. Camcell was almost dead. So we needed a third player to come and put them on the check. And when they came, it happened. So the pressures were there all along. The pressures were there because the complaints were there. But we said they need to survive. It's a penetration price they are doing. But where it becomes a concern, when they started coming also, when these people merged them, instead of staying they were there, they also came down.
That's good.
From 45 up to $5.
Good for us.
So that's good for your consumers, but
Yes.
that's not good for
That's
not
what we
good
want.
for a regulator.
But you should, as the regulator, should want this. You should want this.
Not only consumers.
Okay,
It's not
Protecting government,
producer, the
operators, and
Yes.
consumers.
At our
I mean,
expense.
in your statement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, the Gambians, they are happy in what these people are doing. Like the competition that they are doing, because the majority of the Gambians are poor.
Yes.
So having $10, buying it for a data, and some, even 25 they don't have it, they only have $10, because yesterday was the last day that somebody complained to me saying that he went to a shop and buy $10 credit to make data bonds. From there, when he put in it, it was $11, and he tried his best to see how best he can get that data. But somebody called him and tell me that no, it has been changed. It's $11 now, not $10. So you see how this thing is harming the poor. Yeah. So you are protecting these GSM operators, but you have to protect the Gambians as well, because the poor people.
We are protecting the
To
Gambians.
make this point strong, to emphasize on it, now, how does this price flow save the interest of consumers?
This is the issue. It doesn't protect our interest.
It's as I said, the current tariff structures we have for the GSM, for the three main players, is about 130 per gigabytes. That's the standard tariff they have. That's the published tariff.
Okay.
Now, Comium is about 45 to 40, between 45 46 thereabout. It's just up to about 50 thereabout.
Yes, 50.
Yeah, thereabout.
Yes.
That's the standard tariff.
Yeah.
Now, the promo, if you look at it, they are calling promotions, and by law, promotion cannot last more than 60 days.
Now, the question is...
Yeah, let me learn. Now, but after the promotions, these people are going back to their standard tariffs. And that's about 76% of the Gambians, where they are, will go to 130, 120. But because we cut short the promotions and put a price floor, they'll be forced to move from 130 to 50 or to 50 or thereabout. Is that not a savings? But without that intervention, do a study, analyze it, and set the floor. But now this opportunity has presented itself to us. So it's a savings. About 76% of the Gambian data users will be benefit. So I don't see how that can be anti-Gambian consumers. Yes.
Yeah, to me that is a savings
Yeah.
in one way.
Yes.
But also, is it a savings to Comium? Because to me, this is protecting now QCell and AfriCell instead of Comium. Now, let us, for instance, say this. When this thing started, I know that it thinks. I know that when competition hits, also bring a strategy, which is a market strategy.
To bring their price down.
To bring their price down. This is a market strategy. So they call it promotion. As a promotion, as you said, it is rightly so that it will earn. Yes, but if it's end, they will go back to their normal price. But Comium will still sell their data as to what they are selling it.
Yes.
Because Comium is not a promotion. For Comium, it's not a promotion.
What these prices now are promotional prices.
But for Comium, their 1 gigabyte is not a promotion.
No. I think what you don't understand is, what we are saying is, Comium's pricing is a penetration pricing. You should understand that.
Yes.
You said you are commercial.
Yes.
That promotional penetration is not permanent.
Okay.
As of now, what you are saying is, if you are saying it favors QCell and Africell, then it means it favors greatest customer base.
You know,
Let's
what I try to do, because I was following this thing.
Yes.
And I tried to even have your report, your report, because I was following. The report was not out.
Which report? If you go to our...
The latest one.
The latest one is not out.
Yeah.
I just talked to Ndur downstairs. It is not yet tabled at Parliament, so I could not access it.
Yes. So it means we cannot. That is not our fault.
It's not fault, our fault.
It's the National Assembly that gives us time to go and present our thing. Our report is doing an action. That action also has to mirror the amount of people that are going to benefit. Comium, as far as we are concerned, they are not the biggest. They are not the second biggest. The two biggest, for instance, are charging the higher, right? If you do a floor that is $50, like you said, to answer your question, it means there's a direct benefit to more than 50% of the Gambian people.
75%.
75% of the Gambian people. That is a direct benefit. But it's not that we are insensitive to what people are saying. We all want cheap. If we can have it for free, we will. At the end of the day. But that's what human beings are. As a consumer, I understand him perfectly when you say no floor, let's go down to zero. If you go to an operator and say no floor, put a ceiling. We should not be doing that. But these are the competing factors. As a regulator, where do you think we are? We're in between, exactly. So
Should
this is
be.
why,
Yes.
no, but we are.
But it doesn't seem
What you
like
said
it.
manifested that exactly what you said. Remove the floor, go to zero if they have to. We have no problem as consumers, understandable. Yes. Operators will say, remove the ceiling, don't put any ceiling, because we can charge as much as we can get a maximum return for our investment.
Exactly.
That is their point. But government will say, let them do anything that's going to get the biggest amount of tax that we can collect. We said, okay, fine, we hear all three of you. We go in the middle, balancing the interests of consumers and operators alike, which is difficult. It's a balancing act. We are not always going to get it right. We are not always going to get it wrong either, because it means anytime we do one that favors the other, we get the other jumping on our back, and we understand this. We understand. And insults we are getting and stuff, so who's with the job? We are the book.
Just let it come on. Let it. That's it.
Mr. Taylor, just to add that, you remember, Mr. Taylor, remember when you did the tariff review here?
Yes.
At that point, we justified that. At that point in time, if you had not given that 33% increment, there wouldn't have been any NAVEC today. But we gave the 33%, and today, happily, Gambians, we are not having 24 hours, but almost, we have, in where I stay actually, I'm having a reliable electricity. Even if it's expensive, I can manage my consumption. So,
not at name, our studio is so bad.
Yes, some areas are complaining. Indeed.
But on average,
you're in the good area, yes.
On average,
You're in the good area.
No, but on average,
Yes, sir.
compared to those days,
Before, definitely. In my area, it's much better. When things are better, we have to accept.
Yes. So these are the check. But at that time, they cost us in NAVEX books. They are doing everything. But at that time, that was what is important. And today we can say NAVEX and the trajectory they are going is promising. So this also the data market, consumers cheap data for time gains is not the solution.
Okay.
The solution is a sustainable data plan that has quality considerations and also has value for money. This is what we are looking for. These promotions in the next month, they will not be here anymore. They are going out by law. So in that case, they are going back to their normal tariff. Comium will go back to 45 or 47, thereabouts. So it's not different from the floor. You know, but the other people are forced. This is from about 76% of the data users are forced to move from that height 130 to 50.
That's what you believe.
That is what will happen.
Okay. I just want to make my last appeal, my last thing. Yes, I know. And if fact, this is not even a question, a request or an appeal. First of all, there is some information which we desperately need from your statement. Two, I don't know if it's the same, But the one was you did an African. This is quoting. The African average is $1 US per gigabyte, which is equivalent to 71 per gigabyte. You know that, and you talk about that. So this benchmark, can we have this data so that we can see how you've come to that? That's one. And then there is another issue which you have in here, which is also in your statement. You talk about the cost model underpinning the price floor, right? So those two, if we get them, it will really, really help us. But me now speaking as a customer, as a Gambian, we are suffering. This thing is not going to finish here. We are suffering. NAWEC is killing us. From a few years ago when the price increased, which is under your mandate as PURA, that one was a disaster. Gambians are still crying today. I travel around the world, and I know how internet costs in the places that I go. When I come to Gambia, it's crazy. The amount of data that I pay. When I was in the UK, I know there's different countries. I know there's economies of scale and all of that, but it shouldn't be so ridiculously far. The amount that I am paying for data, if I pay that in other countries like in the UK, I get a brand new mobile phone. That's my plan. That's how much I pay, not only for internet, not only for phone calls, not only for text, and the price of the mobile phone, a top-of-the-range mobile phone. Please, we are begging on you people. PURA, we are pleading with you. This is not going to finish here because we are going to take. It's affecting my work as a journalist. It's really affecting me. I cannot do my job. This price is going to affect me personally, professionally. It's going to affect me. Look in, you guys, please think this again. Have a think about it. I know you guys have done your thorough work. I'm not saying you haven't done that. But we are pleading with you. Not only even on GSM and data, even the NAWEC. Please, we are pleading with you guys have to do something. Cost of living in this country is killing us. Honestly, I'm pleading. I'm not asking a question. I know you might want to say something, but I'm pleading with you. Please, I really, we are pleading. Help us.
That's your statement. Thank you. Thank you. That's the statement. You're fine, please.
Okay. My second to last question will be.
Second to last?
No, last.
Okay, let me join them together. Let me just join them together. Would be the mobile and network coverage are limited in the country. You understand? What has PURA done to ensure that there is complete mobile and network coverage across the country?
It depends on what mobile coverage. It depends on what you are referring. When it comes to voice, we have universal coverage.
There's over 134% coverage. Voice. There's nowhere in Gambia that you can go without not being able to use voice.
At least one.
Data is the issue.
There's one. I'm from Kandora. You are at the far end of the country. You understand? Up to date, if you want to communicate with someone there, the person is the one who can call you, not you.
On voice?
Because the person knows where to stand to get network. I'm from Kandora, the far end. Voice. I'm in voice.
Yeah, if in my village,
we want to get that.
If in my village,
if you go to Kandora, go around Fatoto ends to that Sonkunda, Kasekunda, Same, those ends villages. If a person recently, my grandpa passed away. You know, my mom was there. You cannot communicate her. You cannot communicate anyone there. They are the one who will know at a place where they will be able to stand to communicate you. But you cannot.
Now, it's possible. It's possible.
Should not be.
So, but what I'm saying is that in terms of when it comes to voice, we have done significantly well. We are way beyond above the African average. We are the top 10 in terms of coverage.
For there
are maybe some small sports here and there. That's not avoidable because it's a wireless technology. You know, the coverage has a limitation also, and maybe when towers are very far, you can have some areas that are not covered. That's possible. Because
operators rely on us when we do our bantabas, the data we get from those, because we go with them to test sites like that. When we have it, the data we give them, when they're doing their rollouts, they use that as basis to expand to those areas. So if you can give me the details, we will share with them and then we'll make sure that it's done.
Yeah.
But also the problem we have, I think I have to say this, is Gambians don't complain. So that is why people think we shy away from this. We don't.
It's true.
No, it's a fact. We don't. As a regulator, what makes us work, and the lifeblood of any regulator is information and complaints and pressure. You put pressure on us, we pass it to where it needs to go. But if you sit there and you go on Facebook and insult us all day, it's not helpful. It's fine. It's okay. It's your right to do so. But I mean, insult us, but at least engage us as well. I will ask any one of you here who has ever called our 148 free line, which is a free phone number, for exactly the things you are saying. Nobody calls it. And it's free on all networks. You don't pay anything. Nobody calls it. And if you call it, for people that use it, they get benefits. So if you called us about this, it would have been nice for you to have done that and come and say, can't others still don't have, even though I called you. But you probably don't even know that you can do that or complain to us. So what we are appealing to everybody, to your listeners and your viewers, is to call us. Please engage us, challenge us. Insult us by all means, we cannot stop. But challenge us as well, so that you can have evidence to say, we went there and they did not do this. We want to see that as well. And it is always nice so that we can also say, definitely this person comes here. But it's always the same, and you will know that we always say this. When you come, we say, have you ever complained? And the answer is always no. But Facebook, people can write there, and it's easy, but that's fine. We are even trying to open Facebook where you can, please inform us on Facebook if that is the easiest for you to complain. But all we get is insults. And that's not going to help, because when you know, if you complain to us, we can deal with your problems, and you decide not to do that but to insult, then that's not going to help anybody. Your complaint helps me. If it goes down, I benefit as well as you do. So it's not like I don't buy my data like you do. I do. But it means you make a complaint, I benefit from my complaint. But I can see certain things. If I do it, they will say, PURA, the operators will claim that I am the one fanning the flames. Consumers are not complaining. So it's up to you guys to complain. So we are asking everybody, please challenge us. There's a free phone number, 148, call it. Is it network coverage, quality of service, anything? Even if it's tariffs, let us know. These are things that we will make in informing our decisions. We rely on these things to make our regulations, our laws, even change some of the regulations, our guidelines, so that we reflect this. But if we don't know, and just say, you should know. No, that's not the thing. As a regulator, we need these things formalized so that we can use formal information to say, when they say, who told you, we can say, here. So we need this, and you need to make these complaints as much as possible so that as a regulator, we can engage us, challenge us, and this excites us that you do that. As difficult as you think it may be, challenge us, sit back and see what happens. If we don't do anything, then of course, when you come back next time, it's easier for you to say, this is what we told you and you did not do it. But 9 out of 10 times, it's always, none. No, have you ever complained? No. Have you ever engaged us? No. Some of you, this might be your first time here, because a problem happened. But before that, you can engage us. If you see a problem coming, you can even come and engage us, and we can see how we work together to actually fix that. And this is something that also is our mandate and our role, to listen to consumers and take their things on board, so that it's not like PURA is the one that is pushing. Because like I said, we are in between 3 very powerful forces. You, the consumers, government, and operators. So we are sitting there. The only way we move is when one of you moves us. If you as consumers come and complain and say, this is this is that, you keep saying, and then we have to go to operators, this is what we are hearing. And government, of course, we have to. But if government keeps coming and saying, tariffs like this, you cannot allow these people to die. If they die, 20% of the GDP of this Gambia that is contributed by these people, how can you afford for those people to die? You can't. That's also a legitimate concern from government. This is what pays for the roads and everything else. As a regulator, you are by a law. So this is the difficulty we have. Not that we are insensitive to this, not that we are not affected, not that we think it's easier for operators to do, but what we think is, these operators need to be viable, they need to be in business to make these businesses work, they need to give us internet that is fast, quick, even as businesses that you are saying here as journalists. What you need is reliable and fast.
Exactly. First. Thank you.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It means you pay for that. That is what you need, so that you can do whatever you want to do with this. Now we are getting to a point where we want even consumers not to be using voice. You can use data data is the new voice. So you buy one thing and you use it for everything else. But it means you can only use voice when it's stable and qualitative. That is also our role. But how does that happen? It means more BTS. Each BTS costs $100,000. We have to engage them to say, continually do that, get more BTS, get people to get their quality. You can complain about that. That pushes them to invest. So it means any money that they're having, they're investing back for your own good. Once we get to a point, price is always going to come. And then we can always walk towards how do we make sure that some of the markets you're talking, they are mature markets. UK is mature. There's nowhere in UK that you cannot go and have access. An operator coming into UK is just coming, setting your machines, and you're connected everywhere. That's not the case for them. They are not only telecom operators, they're also electricity providers to themselves. And these are all costs that they always try to pass on to the consumer, and we always have to say, no, you cannot. So these are some of the things that they have to absorb. But this is a discussion that only PURA cannot do. We all have to do together. But if these things happen, we should not be only seeing journalists at our doors when these things happen. We want you to engage us before. So that at least, representatively, people can have a better understanding. Because they're saying, we are not explaining so well. Maybe that is true. But our access to media also maybe is limited. But this is a relationship we have to build together so that you can engage us outside of problems. If problems occur, we are all emotional, we want something, but it affects us as much as it affects you. But if you engage us and we push, we have a figure to say, the media is pushing us, that we have to do this, something will happen. But I think we have to think around these things like that. But reacting to situations this way, it means we can do that, it's fine. Everybody's angry because I was having something for free, now I have to pay for it. Nobody likes that. But we also have to see how we can do it responsibly. You engaging us for us to do that so that everybody gets exactly what they want, but in a way that nobody dies in the process, that nobody loses out. Government makes their projections for their taxations, they expect a particular amount. Let's not affect that. Government operators are doing this and they are rolling out to go to countries, places like Kantora. Even if it's a village of 5 people, we insist they go. Because at the end of the day, most countries, what they're doing, they have universal access funds, where they take 1% of all operators' earnings annually and put it in a kitty, and this kitty they use to do rollouts. But if you do that, it's a form of taxation on them. They'll pass it to the consumers. So we decided we are not going to do that. What we do is, you tell us, Kantora is not there, we engage them and say, go to Kantora. They invest 100,000 and go to Kantora, even though they know there's only 5 people that are going to benefit. It doesn't matter to us. All we want is for you to be in Kantora, so that there's universal. If you don't do it, the threat is we are going to have the universal access fund on you. So that is the approach we were using, and we call it play or pay. You either play, go and roll out by yourself voluntarily, and don't remain yourself within just the greater Banjul area, which we know is lucrative, but you also need to go to the provinces. But again, there are costs to all this, so we have to balance. They can all come and make their businesses here and not go out there and make money. But our responsibility is, it doesn't matter how remote the village is or how difficult to reach it is, you have to be there. It's their right to also be communicating. But in doing so, we also know that in making investment in place, they will never have returns on. But these are the balances we have to do, as difficult as that may be. So that is why I said, who bought Buki Bola, or who bought Buki Haji Bola. But we expect it as well, because we are never going to satisfy all 3. At some point, one will be unhappy, and another somebody will be happy. But if that happens, you guys are the gel between, as far as I'm concerned. You are the ones that can bring that together, to bring that understanding. To say, as much as we want cheap, we also have to take consideration A, B, C, D. And as long as operators also want money, they have to consider the population is suffering, like you said. So our government, as long as you, even though you want taxes, but we have to be mindful, ICT is not the only sector you can keep taxing. So you balancing that, it means we can all benefit. Yeah? Thank you. That's the last one, and we are going to hear a case.
Because I came late, sorry about that. I was
okay.
cooking. Yeah, so my name is Binta Esther. I'm the CEO and founder of Bessel Media. I launched it last March, and I bought a router from QCell $3,000. I refill it for $1,900. But since I refill it, I cannot have internet. The router will be on, but it cannot give me internet. There was a day I was about to upload a video of less than 30 minutes on my Facebook page. I found it so difficult to upload to the extent I had to tag them. I called their customer care, and one lady told me that they are working on it because the internet is cheap, so many people will be online, and that's why it will be congested or whatever. After all that,
maybe you should be sitting here and they will be asking you the question.
Yes, and I saw your statement, right? Because if it is congested, usually the network is not stable. Now that it is not, let me hope, it is not congested as it used to be because of the pricing. I'm still facing the same problem. So when is this going to end? Secondly, about what you were saying about Kantora, I live in CRR South. The village name is Kaolong. It is just 2 kilometers away from the border. Kaolong, yes, CRR South, Lower Fuladu West. My village is not far from the border. But most of the people that live in my village, they use Orange than AfriCell, QCell, or Comium, and they are paying tax to the Gambia. They are not paying tax in Senegal. But they find it so difficult to get network. Whenever I go there, I switch off my phone and place it one place. When I am going out, when I get out of the village and I'm on the highway, that's when I use my phone. Usually, even if there is an emergency in my village, before they get to me, if they don't have WhatsApp, they have to wait every Saturday when they go to the Lumo in Brikama. That's when they can get across to me. And I am finding it so frustrating. And I think...
No, thank you. Just to say, I can assure you one thing. Call 148. Your router issue with QCell will be sorted, number one. I can tell you, people that use 148 would know, even if you make mention of it to either Gamcell, Nawek, AfriCell, your problem gets sorted before you get to us. So call 148, test our systems, number one.
Okay.
Number two, the names that you have given to us, we will collect these things and we will pass. If you have network issues, call 148, tell them this area I'm not having networks as well. We will use that and also engage them. That's what we do.
Also, the app we are going to launch will be able to tell you which network is strong in your area.
I live in Serakunda. I expect you to be fine.
Yeah, most likely, it's congestion. It's a congestion.
Although, one thing I want to put up, there's a AfriCell antenna on top of my building. So I don't know if that is the...
No, I don't think
This is the app. We haven't launched it yet.
Okay.
It's the app that we are launching this Saturday. So it will be on Play Store. Anybody can download it. What it is, I think, when you say it's home, coverage, when you touch on coverage, it will show you all these places. Let's say Bassett. It will show you a map. And then it has a traffic light system of red, green, and blue. So obviously, if your availability is bad, it will be red. If it's fine, it's green. So this, we hope, will help consumers in terms of maybe making decisions with regard. So we are launching this on Saturday as part of the quality of experience of individual consumers. So you can do that, and it also have a tariff portion where you can actually tap on tariffs for all of them. And if you go data plans, you can give it for all operators. You tap on a particular operator, they will tell you their data plans. So this is something we are launching on Saturday. So this is a preview for you guys. We were meant to have this preview, but then this thing happened. We were meant to have a preview this Friday, but then this thing happened, and we have to react to this and actually sort this. But we will be doing this, and hopefully, if any of you want, you can individually come here, engage us on some of the things that we have and some of the plans that we have. Our doors are always, as you know, you never made an appointment, you just walked in and we are sitting here.
And we really appreciate that.
So thank you guys. Yes?
Just 1 minute about our antenna issue. If you go to QCity, and a coverage, and you are using AfriCell data, you don't have connection.
We want
It's
to
a fact.
call 148.
No, maybe it could be technical.
No, call 148.
No, what I'm telling you
Call
is that
148.
you go out of there, your network will come. You'll be able to stream live.
Call 148.
But if you are inside QCity, we attend entertainment events as well. If you go there for live streaming, you are forced to switch to QCell.
Call 148.
Yes. Launch it as a company.
Call them and they will test it, and if they can verify it, they will try to find out. We can ask our engineers to look at it. So this is it, yeah?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, yeah?
Once again, we are really pleased.
No, we rely on you to help us. Yes. I know, we know it's hard, everybody's angry, but honestly, and it's right, you know. As far as consumers, we want it to go zero. Huh?
But what you